Hello everyone, Ditter here, making a video for you on statistics, ghosts, players, and anything having to do with hunts. This video is out there to help any new player, any experienced player that doesn't quite know what to do in certain situations, and just anyone who's interested in general that wants to know more detail about the game. I'm a fairly new player, but I've gotten a lot of experience over the last few months and learned a lot of things that I think are super helpful, and I want to make sure I share with all of you how to do that. If you do enjoy the video, make sure you subscribe, like, share. If you can leave a comment, leave a comment. Otherwise, just go see me at twitch.tv/Didder, Didderr, and go follow me there and watch the streams. We do have a lot of fun every single week, and the community is fantastic. With no further ado, here's our information. Now, any basics surrounding a hunt have to do with the speeds of the players and the ghosts. Now, the base walking speed of a player is 1.6 meters per second. That's important because a ghost is not the same speed. So the base level of a ghost is 1.7 meters per second without line of sight. Once a ghost does have line of sight, it's got 13 seconds where it's going to slowly increase its speed all the way up to 2.5 meters per second. That's 13 seconds. Most hunts last anywhere from 30 to 45 to 60 seconds depending on the actual settings of the game mode. But 13 seconds is barely a third of the lowest number there. So 13 seconds can happen just like that, and then you need to know what to do once it's at line of sight speed. The player's sprint speed is 3.0 meters per second. It's a 5-second cooldown after 3 seconds of it being able to use that 3 meters per second. So that's important because you do get more speed than the ghost at its highest line of sight speed, but it does go away, and it goes away for 5 full seconds, which during a hunt can mean a lot. Each ghost specifically has its own setting for what the line of sight speed is, unless it's not specialty towards speed. So the twins, being slightly faster, slightly slower, they start at 1.5 or 1.9 depending on what twin you get. Faster twin, slower twin. They do have line of sight speed, so the 1.9 would be equivalent to going all the way up to 2.7 meters per second in line of sight. And then the 1.5 would get you to 2.3 with line of sight speed. So they can get faster. They just don't do it right away, and they start at different speeds than what you would normally have at a normal ghost speed. The Thay, when it's new, a baby Thay, little guy, they start off with a 2.75 meters per second speed, and they slow down by 0.175 each time it ages. So anytime you're in the same room as it for a certain amount of time, and we'll go over those details a little further on the Thay video, it'll age. The Jinn will move at 2.5 meters per second if it has line of sight, the fuse box is on, and the player is more than 3 meters away. Otherwise, everything else is default. So that 2.5 meters will happen outside of 3 meters away, and then once it get back to 3 meters away, it'll be whatever the line of sight speed is at the time. The Raiju is all normal speed unless there's electrical equipment around, and then it's 2.5 meters per second. And then the Moroi is interesting because it's all dependent on sanity. We'll go way further into detail on Moroi speeds when we get to the Moroi video, but just know when you're at a high sanity, the Moroi is kind of slow, and when you're at a low sanity, it gets fast, and the line of sight speed is some of the fastest of the game. The Hantu is all dependent on temperature. Its base speed is 1.4 at the highest temperatures, and then its fastest speed at the lowest temperature is 2.7 meters. The Deogen is just dependent on how close it is to you. It'll sprint all the way up to you, and then it is the slowest ghost in the game. So you just want to be in a looping spot for Deogens all the time. And then Revenants, it's all line of sight. So any type of line of sight will make them accelerate to 3 meters per second. So your sprint speed is going to be the ghost speed anytime it can see you. And then outside of that, it is very slow. You will hear it go thump, 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 pretty much at that speed. And that's what we're going to do one of these videos, is go over the sounds of the ghost, because that is huge for the details that you're trying to get when a ghost is hunting. The ghost hunts, when you're trying to figure out the ghosts, are very, very difficult, because you're not only trying to move your hands to get around, to get away from the ghost or to hide from the ghost or whatever's happening, you're also watching and listening to try to figure out the ghost. Those are 3 different skills that have to happen at the same time. That's why there are differences between very high level players, the average player, and then beginners that are just trying to survive. It's a lot of different mechanics that you wouldn't expect to be in a game like this. This seems like a simple investigation game where you're just going to go figure out different things, and then you got the ghosts, and as long as it doesn't get you, you're going to get out of there. But realistically, that's not all that happens during a Phasmophobia game. And if you're playing on less than 3 evidence, you're gonna need to know how to deal with the hunts. Now, back to what we talked about, hunt durations. You can set your game mode manually, or you can go to Nightmare, Insanity, Professional, Intermediate, Amateur, whatever mode you think fits you. Typically, the way I view it is you want to walk your way up the difficulties, and each difficulty establish the ability to do pretty consistent, perfect games before you move to the next one. And that's a way to progress to make yourself better. You don't have to do it that way. If you want to just grind hard and start at a high difficulty level from the beginning, that's perfect. If you're just trying to play casually and you just want to get your 3 evidence and get out, that works too. Just to improve in the game, you're going to have to start learning how to do loops and being able to survive hunts. There's so much that can happen that can trip you up if you don't know how to loop a ghost, or how to break line of sight, or how to hide from a ghost. So getting experience with those hunts are super important. And that hunt duration that we talked about, the 30, 45 seconds, 60 seconds, can be manipulated depending on if you're trying to practice, what you're trying to practice, and how much you need out of that. Now the other stats that we need to go through is things that you'll experience during the hunt. The first thing I'm going to touch on is actually the heartbeat of the ghost, because you have about 10 meters of space between the ghosts, and then you start to hear thump, 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 and you hear that ghost heartbeat going. And that doesn't mean the ghost knows exactly where you are. It's called heartbeat line of sight. It's just there is no object that can obstruct it, and once that ghost is within 10 meters of you, you'll start hearing that heartbeat. If it's a Raiju, it's a much different heartbeat sound. We will go over that in the Raiju video, and we'll have some audio to listen to. But it is important to know that all ghosts are the same with that 10-meter heartbeat range, with the exception of only the Raiju. So that is a ghost that you can identify during a hunt just because of that. Now, there are other ways to identify the Raiju that to me are a little easier, but that is one way that you can do it. Now, there's another idea of electronic disruption in the sounds you make during the hunt. Now, just running around, the ghost can't really hear you. But if you do hit that push to talk, there's a range at which the ghost will be able to hear you. 9 meters is the distance that a ghost can hear sounds. So any normal ghost will hear anything up to 9 meters. 7.5 meters is the electronic disruption range. The only exception to that is yokais. Your friendly neighborhood yokai. They're very difficult to tell what they are, but you can manipulate that 9 meters, 7.5 meters to tell if they are or not yokai. That's important to know because yokais only hear sounds and electronics 2.5 meters away. That close, and that is very close in this game. 2.5 meters is almost right on top of you, and if they don't run to you within that range, then you know it's not a yokai. Now, back to that electronic disruption, one thing I didn't mention, the Raiju is an exception to that as well. 15 meters is the Raiju range for electronic disruption, which is quite a distance. That's like halfway across Tanglewood or a map like that. That's important to know, but not the most important thing. During the hunt, the ghost has abilities to check hiding spots. Now, if a ghost has seen you before in a certain spot, the ghost will have a 50% chance to check that spot. There's also the idea of tank controls. The ghost, sometimes when it needs to turn around, can't really turn around right away because it is on tank controls. I did want to talk about that a little bit in this video because I have experience where I've given the ghost line of sight, I broke the line of sight, but because of the ghost tank controls, it ran past a little bit of where I was and was able to see me in my hiding spot. So if you're going to hide, you're going to want to break line of sight and give yourself a little bit of distance before you actually get into your hiding spot so that ghost doesn't just happen to run past. Alright, a couple of other little things about the hunt statistics. A normal ghost has a 50% chance to throw nearby objects every 0.5 seconds. That is a normal ghost. Poltergeists are different. 100% chance to throw objects and that 0.5 seconds. So you're always getting objects going everywhere. And you all have experienced a poltergeist before if you've played the game long enough. It's like a tornado. There's stuff going left, right, up, down, and you just have everything scattered across the room by the time that ghost is done hunting. So you'll know your poltergeist when you see him as long as you have enough objects set up for that ghost to throw. And the other idea of 50% chance to throw an object can also help you for media during the hunt, because there's certain types of media that can happen as long as you're not looking directly at the ghost. A lot of times when you take those pictures or video of the ghost in frame, it's just going to grab the ghost. But if you set it up properly, the ghost can do the floating object into the throw where you can get a picture or a video, or just a throw where you can get a video, or you can set up a motion sensor where the video camera won't catch the ghost until after the motion sensor went off. But in general, when the ghost is throwing objects, you have a lot of opportunities to potentially get media that you weren't able to get throughout the game. So keep that in mind whenever you're playing and you got a hunt going on as something to practice. The blinks, this is a big part of the hunts. The blinking can make or break your game if you're going for a perfect game and you need a ghost photo. The generic ghost is 0.3 to 1 seconds of blinks. And Oni blinks 0.1 to 0.5 second, which in the idea of trying to get a photo during the hunt should make it so much easier. The phantoms blink 1 to 2 seconds. Phantoms, I'm pretty good at getting out of those games, but they do frustrate me a bit. And if anyone knows on stream, I get some weird ghost behavior, and with a phantom blinking 1 to 2 seconds, I may never see that thing until it's already got me. So phantoms are something to look out for. If they're doing that long blink pattern, you may want to use your defensive item early or opportunistically just to get yourself to a hiding spot quick. And the last thing I'll talk about, just really briefly, is the hiding spots in the game. Hiding spots are only useful if you've started in them, or you've done a good job breaking line of sight, or you have an emergency where you've messed up royally and you're not looping well and this ghost is on you and you have a way to get around to hide from the ghost, at least long enough for it to try to roam away. If ghosts are close to you and there's nothing obstructing them getting to your hiding spot and they've already seen you, there's a very good chance they'll make it to you. But there are instances where you can get that hero moment of just turning the corner twice and you're just hidden for a second or two and it just doesn't quite know where you are. It walks right up to you and then it's gone. It just went somewhere else. That is so ideal and so helpful. So practicing getting away from the ghost, getting to your hiding spots, big in that. But in general, the hiding spots are guaranteed on a map, so you can, if you want to learn about the hiding spots, you can start in a game where it's all hiding spots are available. And then you want to practice your way down to a game where there's low hiding spots or no hiding spots, because learning how to hide without hiding spots is also a skill as well. You can break line of sight on a ghost on a countertop or just around a door or behind a little desk or something just enough where you can get the ghost to wander off. It's not guaranteed that the ghost is just going to wander away just because it can't see you for a couple seconds. The ghost can still find you potentially, but if you can get a little bit of hiding spot or break line of sight, that is ideal. Alright, then we're going to come to the end of our video here, but I do appreciate you all taking the time to watch, sit through, listen to some of the statistics. If you do have questions that I haven't answered about statistics that might help you with hunts or hiding, or just the statistics for gameplay, just please leave it in the comments section. I do want to try to chat with as many of you that have seen this video and appreciate this video as possible. And even if you don't appreciate it, just let me know. And I'm happy to chat and work things out, because I'm here for all of you. I'm here to have fun and to enjoy the community and to help everybody who wants to play this game. Thank you all for sitting through my little TED Talk here, and I hope you all have a good night.